Good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lamo.
Good morning, Donna and everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, Robbie.
Hey, Robbie. Good morning, Trina.
Buenos días. I'm very happy I'm not driving in icy roads, so thank you.
Yes, same here. Just stay safe. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Elise. Good to see you all. Good morning, Nico. Hey, Patty. Good to see you. Good morning, Alex and Sandra. Guten Morgen.
Good morning, Donna.
Morning.
Hey, Neely. Good morning.
Hello, everywhere.
Hello, Giovanna. Good morning. Hey, Susie.
Welcome to your new position, Linda. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Looking
Welcome.
forward to working more with Donna.
I'm really glad to have her. Good morning, Tom. Buenos días, Marcelo y Fernanda. Good morning, David, Arlene.
Good morning.
You're looking good, David.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you.
feeling better.
Quite a comeback.
Yeah, it's good to be alive.
Puts a whole
Morning,
new-
Jill.
Geshe Gelik is here.
Sorry.
Good morning. Please have a seat. Have a seat. Oh, yeah. Good morning, Venerable Hamo. Good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lama.
Morning, Geshe.
Good morning, Domasi. Good morning, Fernanda Marcelo Patagonia from Patagonia. Good morning. Alex Centra
Good morning, Geshe.
from Tushita Pure Realms. Linda, good morning. Good morning, Venerable Kelsang. Good morning, Pati Panditji. Good morning, Alisa Patagonia. Good morning, Chetan. Thank you for translating for them. Good morning, Dr. Watkin. Good morning, Katina Smith. Thank you for your beautiful flower. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Elise. Oh, so good morning. Good morning, Nilio. Good morning, Govina. Good morning, Susie. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Emilcy. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, David. Good morning,
Good morning.
Arlene. Good morning, Gabi from Patagonia. Good to see you again. Good morning, Johnson Kim. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Emilcy. Good morning, William. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Peter. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Brown. Good morning, Felix. Good morning, Hen. Good morning, Anthony. Anybody who's watching YouTube, good morning. So Venerable Hamula will lead some prayers.
So let's start with Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times. Te ata mone mone ma munae soha. Te ata mone mone ma munae soha. Te ata mone mone ma munae soha. Now the Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra. Bhagawan with equal compassion for all, whose name, when merely heard, dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugata soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugata soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze,
Raja Samugata Soha. Jayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugata Soha. The four measurables. Three times. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Now the verse of praise and mantra for Chenrezig, the Buddha of Great Compassion. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassionately at all beings. To you, Chenrezig, all-seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And now the verse of praise and mantra for green Tara. Tare liberates from cyclic existence. Tutare liberates from all fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha.
Sanje chodan soje chodan lo chancho padon dale chodan dage chushe jibe sonamje lola peje sanje lo bora sho Sanje chodan soje chodan lo chancho padon dale chodan dage chushe jibe sonamje lola peje sanje lo bora sho Sanje chodan soje chodan lo chancho padon dale chodan dage chushe jibe sonamje Lola Penjaya Sanje and Sho 라다 라메메나 메야지 오모도 자젤로서 추주잖아 저거 산제 소로 럽도 시제 되게 주죠. 대다시 저 담배 중요진데 디시 이제 나모라에가 달로 단대쟁에 저번다다 미에가 나다도 근데 뭐 담배 펴도 나게 최대 또 관계 도전에서는 따와 담배 보면서 담배 중에 대해서 고담대로 Oh yeah. Thomas is there. Thomas, any questions?
Yes, Geshe-la, there's a question from last week.
Okay.
The question is, please comment on dedicating merit from the 3 times, especially merit from the future.
Any other questions?
No, Geshe-la, that's all the questions right now.
In Buddhism, Tongdanila Chawani means Tong means beginning, Ta means end, Chawa means activities. Ni two, there's 2 important activities. One at the beginning, one at the end. Beginning motivations, intention motivations. Yeah, everything. Yeah, we do things, most of the things when we do things, there's intentions involved. Without intentions, even just simply making a morning coffee, you have to have intentions to make, So, so in Buddhism, the intentions is very important. So, because you are about to engage into some kind of spiritual practice, so then you need some intentions why you do spiritual practice. Because it should not reason should not be because that's what my family do. That's not good enough. So you have to understand very clearly why we engage into spiritual practice. We have to have goal. We have to have goal, and we have to have deeper understanding of the spiritual path. We can't just blindly follow the path. You have to understand the teachings. So in Buddhism, what is our goal? What is our goal? Our goal is complete freedom from all these problems and complications, which refers to nirvana, moksha, liberations. So then better goal is like full enlightenment, better goal. So what we're trying to do, so when we're trying to engage in this spiritual practice, that we are trying to offer the best of the best to ourselves. Not the best form of intentions, but the better intentions that you work for that freedom for every living beings on this planet. That is like bodhicitta, altruistic intentions. That's the best intentions. So, so then whatever practice you engage into, it becomes the cause for that. It doesn't become the cause for good food, good clothes, like, all the mundane things. It doesn't become the cause for mundane things. Even though it becomes the cause for mundane things, that's not the bad things. But, our goal is much bigger than good like clothes or good food for the environment. Our goal is much bigger. We are aiming for complete freedom, Dharma, moksha. So the intentions we need there, okay? So that's the beginning intention is very important, but the end. So now whatever practice that you engage, reciting mantra, reciting prayer, analytical meditation, review meditation, single-pointed meditation, whatever meditation that you do. So in the very end, then you want to invest all this. In Buddhism, what we call gyawa, means merit. Verbally, you are saying prayer, mantra, sutra. Verbally, mentally, you are thinking about the meaning of the prayers, mantra, sutras. And physically, probably, you are not engaging into any like negativities. So then you're creating merit from three doors: body, spirit, mind. So that merit, now you want to invest that merit for enlightenment, for liberation or enlightenment, for the benefit, betterment of all living beings. So that's called dedications. So then you're not just dedicating the merit, you're dedicating the merit that's been created last year, last month, last week. And then you are thinking to do retreat or do further spiritual practice. You are already, there's a future merit, you are dedicating that. Likewise, 3 times Buddhas from the past, present, the future, we are going to dedicate exactly the way they dedicated. So that means you are joining your dedication with the enlightened beings. So there's a stanza you say, likewise, Bodhisattva Samathabhata, the way he dedicated merit. So like probably, dedication can be very, very intensive one. So first, we don't know how to dedicate. We don't understand why you dedicate. What's the dedications? Why you dedicate? How you dedicate. So we don't have clear idea. So that's why we recite the stanza. I'm going to dedicate it exactly the way 3 times Buddha dedicated. So then, however they dedicated, then you say, I will dedicate it exactly like that, instead of spending all day long. So, in the monastery, when you dedicate, that means now the session is about to finish. The prayers like prayer gathering in the monastery, now it's about to finish. So I was with the Lama Sopa Rinpoche, Tepte Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and in Taos, New Mexico, many years ago, I think like 2 o'clock in the morning, started 7 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So Rinpoche said, okay, now dedication. I thought maybe it would take now 5 minutes. It's become like kind of unbearable. Rinpoche is teaching in English, so my English is not that good. So I probably 50% I don't understand, but I'm sitting there like 7 hours, something. Don't understand. So then, eventually, sorry to admit, I confess. So it get kind of like first physically deteriorated to pain here, pain there, then mind think, okay, why is going on, why is going on and on like that? So there is not good feeling. So anyway, so the dedication, then you kind of like, oh, now it's maybe 5 minutes. Rinpoche is dedicated. And then I listened very carefully. Rinpoche going through every single holy object in Tibet, in India, in Nepal. I thought, oh, now that's not going to be easy. Took like 2 hours. 5 o'clock, around 5 o'clock, finished class. By that time, you become like physically, mentally, you become like Italian pasta, can stand still, can stand up. It's all like fall apart. So see, dedication can be very extensive if you go through one by one. So therefore, we are always looking for easy way. So that's why we recite this stanza exactly the way the Bodhisattva, some other Bhattas dedicated the merit, or like 3 times Buddhas, past, present, future. I'm dedicating like that. Okay, so then if you dedicate the merit for your enlightenment, you are going to have access to that merit till you reach enlightenment. If you dedicate that merit for good food, when you receive good food, the merit is finished. If you dedicate it for mundane things, then when you achieve mundane things, the merit is gone. So, therefore, according to Buddhism, the best way to dedicate your merit is to dedicate the cause for your liberations, moksha, or your free enlightenment. So then you are going to have access to that merit till you liberate it or till you get full enlightenment. Okay? 2 important things: beginning, intention, and the end, dedication. I hope I answered the questions. Or maybe Dr. Brown, Dr. Watkin, Venerable Nuns, if you want to add on a little bit, so you are welcome to add on. Add on, how you say, add on or edit?
Add on is good, Geshe-la.
Yeah, if you want to add on, anybody, if you want to add on a little bit.
Whoops, start my video. Geshe-la, a quote I have from Lama Zopa Rinpoche is that to not set an intention or to dedicate afterwards is like planting a tree with the roots in the air.
Very good.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. So, anybody else want to add? No pressure. Voluntary. No pressure.
We also have several questions now, Geshe-la.
Yes.
So the first question is, what practical advice do you have for approaching the understanding and realization of emptiness? What are some first steps? What is most important to keep in mind as we approach the conception and realization? Oh, very good question. Very, very good questions. Profound question. Very good questions. Can you repeat the questions? What practical advice do you have for approaching the understanding and realization of emptiness? What are some first steps? What is most important to keep in mind as we approach the conception and realization?
I don't have any practical advice to give because I don't practice at all. So that's out of question. So practical. Maybe I may have some intellectual advice based on my knowledge. Practical, not easy. Like, of course, first we have to learn what is emptiness. Without that, so there's nothing to meditate on. First, we need to learn what is shunyata. Shunyata, that's Sanskrit word, shunyata, emptiness. Tombani, Mahamudra, same thing, Mahamudra. There's different names. There's like Dzogchen, Mahamudra, Shunyata, emptiness, Tombani, Chuni. But it all boils down on same thing, reason. If someone experiencing emptiness, that very person, for that person's Dzogchen, Mahamudra, emptiness is all same thing, is nothing different. It just depends in terms. Nothing, it's the same thing, different approach. Anyway, so first need to study. There's many books that, by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And why I always say His Holiness Dalai Lama? Because His Holiness Dalai Lama, whatever word that is associated with bodhicitta, renunciation, wisdom realizing Shunyata, His Holiness, experience them very deeply. Every word that comes, it comes with the experience and not just mere word. So you receive blessing or you receive benefit, a lot of benefit. Then some cases people just talk, they don't, they have no taste of Shunyata, they just write, looking for different books. So then how to get to the bottom of that, the Shunyata. What's happening now? What's happening in your life of other people? What's happening? Oh, there's all kind of complications, all kind of problems that everybody, regardless of your title, your positions, your wealth, your status, social status, everybody going through a lot of complications. So, and clinging tightly on plays a big role there. Clinging tightly on, that kind of mindset play a big role. According to Chandakriti, Madhya Menka Avatar text into the middle way, composed by Chandakriti, one of the main disciples of Arya Nagarjuna, in their text. Tangbo ngashe dala shenchuchi. Tangbo, right from the beginning, we become we clinging tightly on notion of I, so tightly we cling on that. That's same. Everybody is like Tangbo ngashe dala shenchuchi. Then dagi dishe. Then from that, I say, from that clinging, from there, so then you say my house, my clothes, my relative, my religion, my tradition, my culture, my people, my country. Then it goes on and on, never ends. So that is the fact. It's nothing to do with religion. It's the fact. Chandrapati is just trying to explain what is the fact. That's the fact that regardless, Buddhist, non-Buddhist, atheists, everybody become attached to themselves. So then from there, everybody will say I and my. That's pretty much same thing. That's how it goes round and round and round. That's how, die, rebirth, then goes again, then die, then rebirth goes again. That's why this wheel of life circles. It goes round and round. There's a reason. So that is the basis or foundation for universal compassion. It's nothing to do with that you are related or you receive something or there's like, or is that person the same as me, American. Nothing to do with that. It's the fact, the situation, whole situations. There's the foundation, the base for universal compassion. Then more likely you can develop compassion towards all living beings, because every living being, including their cycle, is going through that. You fortunately realize, studying Lamrim, you realize that's what's happening. So now you further investigate what is the root cause of all this problem, root cause. You may used to think, oh, it's my neighbor, oh, it's my partner, it's my wife, it's my husband, it's my country, it's the politician. Now eventually you realize it's not that, that's not root cause. Root cause is ignorance. Sorry to say. We have to admit the root cause is like you can't just go. You can't just go. You can't just go okay with the notion of self. That notion of self needs to be investigated. It needs further investigations. You can't just as it's not good to feel okay with that sense of that notion of self. That notion of self very much needed further investigations. How you define, So then that leads to four critical points of how to meditate on shunyata. That leads to the four critical points. The first point, identifying the object that is not there, but you firmly believe is there. So then you build so much on that. You're building something on. It's almost like building a castle out of sand. The foundation, So you build so much on notion of self. You build so much. You do so much. You say so much. I'm sorry, you, not just you. We say so much. We think so much. We do so much based on this notion of self. When you further investigate, when you ask yourself, what do you mean self? How you define self? So then we get stuck. So, whoa. Kind of like I never asked the questions, never asked, just went with that. Never bother to ask questions. Now when you start to ask questions, so what is self? What is self? So what do you have? You have body. With this body, no need to prove. You already have, no need to prove. It's very obvious. You have mind, no need to prove, because you think. That's very obvious. So now you go through them. Am I? You go through from your, am I my head? What's your answer? Am I my eye, ear, nose, mouth, beard, hair, neck, shoulder, hand? Go to each one of them. See what happens. But we never bother to ask questions and we never bother to analyze. See what happens if you analyze what happened. So the Master Shantideva's Guide to Buddhist Way of Life explained that detail into Wisdom chapter. Soda, Tasen Dharma, Soda, Tasen Dharma. So Master Shantideva began with the teeth. I'm not sure why. Master Shantideva statement begin with the teeth. I'm not sure why. Should begin with the hair, but I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. Soda, Tasen Dharma is so, teeth, ta, hair, sen, nail. Shantideva said, that's not me. What do you say? What do you say now? That's what Shantideva said. I'm not my teeth, I'm not my ta, I'm not my hair, sen, I'm not my nail. Now what do you say? That's how we analyze. Emptiness is very hard to, intellectually hard to understand. Bodhicitta, easy to understand. Practically, very hard to practice. Very hard to put into practice. Easy to learn. Emptiness, very difficult to understand. Relatively easy to meditate. Once you understand, it's quite easy to meditate. It's not like bodhicitta or universal compassion. It's very difficult to develop. So now I'm just telling you the Shantidevas. So that Tase Dharma is. That's how you meditate. I'm not my teeth. Am I my teeth? Yes or no? According to Shantideva, no. Answer is no. Am I my hair? Yes or no? According to Shantideva, no. Answer is no. Am I my nail? No. According to Shantideva. Then now you ask yourself what you say. What's your answer? Okay? So that doesn't Dharma. Then that statement goes on and on. So the Tata said Dharma, Dharma, Rubatama, Dharma means self. So now hair is finished, teeth is finished, head is finished, nail is finished. This all the answers are no. So now further analysis. So that doesn't Dharma Rubatama is Dharma Rubatama. The Ruba, bone. Am I my bone? According to Shantideva, answer is no. What's your answer? Dharma Ruba. Am I my blood? According to Shantideva's statement, all the answers no. No. So you ask yourself then, okay, Dharma Ruba Tama. I'm not my blood, I'm not my bone. God, maybe. Shata Papa Damindes, Shata Papa Damindes, flesh, skin. Shantideva said, I'm not my flesh, I'm not my skin. Okay, Shata Papa Damindes. That's complete. One stanza is finished. Mass goes on. So that's how you investigate, okay? That's how you study. That's the it can be a practical approach if you gain some experience. If you don't gain any experience, it's going to be like just intellectual approach. If you are very much touched by the Shantideva statements, how much benefit you receive, then you are very fortunate. You are very fortunate. Today, according to Lama Tsongkhapa, now according to Lama Tsongkhapa, first let me finish this, then I will say the Lama Tsongkhapa. So there's one statement, so that I said, Dharma, Dharma Rivatramai, Shatababa, Dharma Rivatramai. So now, Shada Kanya Dharma, Shada Kanya Dharma, Sha means fat in the body, fat in the body. There is not you, Shada Kang, marrow. Yeah. Fat, marrow inside the body, that's not me. So that's like, now that's like going into very detail, going to the physical body. Loching, kidney, liver, not me. Loching that Dharma is. Not pee, no poop. So that's also is all included. So whatever included, I have to say. Sorry, even though it doesn't sound good, need to say. It's a part of the text. Then all the other organs are not you. Then the pee, poop, also not you. So analyze. So there's one more stanza, so I'm afraid I'm not remembering it correctly. The one more stanza. So are you looking at the text? Venerable Tenzin Lamo Kelsang.
Yes, I have the text in front of me.
Yeah, the last stanza. So probably I screw up a little bit probably. The last stanza begin with the flesh and skin.
Yes, Geshe-la.
So that a little bit mistake, but that's okay. Fortunately, you have text to read, so you don't need to rely on what I say. I just probably quoted some mistakenly. So the first line of the last stanza is like the flesh and bone. Shata papa dharma this. Dharma, heat and oxygens. Is the second line?
It says warmth and energy winds.
Yeah, that's like warm, yeah, warm or heat, warm. Lungs, yeah, energy, you could say energy or the very oxygen we breathe, lungs. Dharma is. Pugadam is space inside the body does not mean, is that correct?
It says body cavities.
What is cavity mean?
I guess the space. Exactly what you're saying.
Pugadam is. Dharma is. So now there's physical part analysis, deeper analysis for physical part is complete done. So now you figure it out. You are not your body. Maybe you used to think that you are your body. That's mistaken. Sorry to say, according to Master Shanti Deva's guidelines, how to meditate on Shunyata. Now you figured out that your body is not you. So now thinking your body is you, probably that's not going to help. It's not going to solve the problem. That's what I mean. It's not going to solve the problems. You are not going to get to the root of the cause of all the problems. If you believe that your body is you, probably it's not, that's become obstacles. So now what is left? Six senses, that's only left. Then beside this, there is not you. There is no you. Beside body, beside six senses, then there's not you. So now what is left? Six senses. So now you Pugadami, so now six senses are not me. That, because there's no shape, color, the analysis is going to be a little bit difficult because it doesn't have shape and color. It's not that obvious. So then there's little that analysis is a little more complicated than physical part. Dharma. One easy way to say there's six senses, six consciousness, or six senses. What is the best? Six senses or six consciousness?
It says 6 types of consciousness.
It's not that complicated. Things you see, that's called eye consciousness. There's something that you can, some ability to hear, that's called ear consciousness. Ability to smell, that's called nose consciousness. It's not that complicated. Ability to taste, that's called taste consciousness. Ability to feel smooth and rough, that's called physical consciousness. So there are 6 mental consciousness without using like say like dream. When you dream, if you're in deep sleep, you don't dream. If you're in light sleep, that's where you dream. If you're in deep sleep, you don't dream. Then you are like almost like dead. Only difference you are breathing, that's all. Only difference you are breathing. Besides that, you are exactly like dead. When you went to deep sleep. When you are sleeping very light, that's where you dream. At that moment, 6 mental consciousness is present. All other 5 consciousness, eye, ear, nose, the taste, tactile, the body, all this consciousness is just temporarily, not active, inactive, temporarily completely inactive. Only consciousness that's active is six mental consciousness. That's why everything you see in the dream, you see things, it's not, you are not seeing through eye consciousness, you are seeing through mental consciousness. This is mental consciousness. Because at that time, five senses completely inactive. Only consciousness that's very active is six mental consciousness. How's about that movement? Or this body is not moving. What is moving? Dream body. Dream body is the one that's moving. It's a form of light. Subtle. It's subtle. Not the very subtle. It's a subtle body. Gross, this one. These are the gross one. Subtle. Who's moving from place to place, talking to friends, or chasing by elephant, running, eating like cheesecake. That's a dream body. Dream body is the one who's doing dream body, form of light, subtle body. That moment, six mental consciousness, that's the only consciousness that's active. Rest is complete inactive. Light sleep, not deep sleep, light sleep. Light sleep. Then why I'm saying this? Not sure why I'm saying about this. See, there's six mental consciousness. So self is one. If you think the six mental consciousness, then there will be six self. Then there's going to be nine men. One self is how to take care. Now there's six of them. So now you ask, then you become six. Either six become one, or you become six. That's the one has a philosophical argument when you analyze either am I my consciousness or not. That's the philosophical argument you bring up. So then you ask yourself, are you six? Or all the six consciousness is one? Or you are six something? So then, like that. And pretty much those six consciousness pretty much cease when you go through the dissolution process. When you die, each sense dissolve into the next one. So that means you are finished. You are like, that means like game over now? No, it's not game over. It's not game over, no. So like that, there's like few, how to say, logic way to analyze whether you are six consciousness or not. So then there's few of them. This is all translated into English, like intro into the middle way, composed by Chantakriti. So you study that. So after study, what do you do? Meditate. And in the end, what are you going to find? Probably nothing. It is really nothing. No, it is something important that never been found. Never been found before. When you go through this analysis, what are you going to find? Probably nothing. That's really nothing. No, it is something very profound, never been discovered before. You are now about to discovering it. So now you see the statement, oh, not seeing is the best seeing. Now you understood, oh, now what does that mean? First, what do you mean not seeing the best seeing? Now you understood a little bit, not seeing the best. Not finding is the best finding. Now you understood a little bit. Short statement. Not seeing the best seeing. That's all. That's all the word in the text. Not seeing the best way of seeing. You got completely confused. What do you mean that much? Now you understood. Now you understood because you meditate on this instruction. Now you understood. Yeah, not finding the best finding. So what do you do now? Pause. Pause on that. Pause on that. So when you come out of that meditation, now there's so called post-meditations. Now you look around. Now your perception of self dramatically changed. Your perception of self is dramatically changed. Simultaneously, your perception of flower, table, fear, anxiety, stress, suffering, everything, enemy, friend, everything change. Not that change, dramatically change. Very serious, perception of very serious change. Everything changed. How you see them as like illusions, not something solid, serious, absolute, gone, it's gone. You see them as like a dream, not as a dream, like a dream. So much happened during this light sleep, like say 2 minutes or maybe 5 minutes light sleep. So much happened, you are chased by elephants, you are running, could not run, all kinds of things, eating cheesecake, eating pizza, going to Hawaii, all kinds of things happen in the dream, excitement, like fear, anxiety there. Wake up, over, it's over, it's over. Maybe we are sleeping with ignorance too long, so maybe never like waking up from there. So that your perception dramatically changed. Good news, do you still see? Yeah, you still see things. It's not like you are not going to see. You are still going to see. What's the difference? Before you believing in, you analyze them. You don't believe right away. What you hear, what you see, what you think. Yeah, before we believe what we see, pretty much out of 100, 90%, we believe. Not just that, we exaggerate. Not just that, they hold very tightly on that, don't know how to forget, don't know how to let it go. Complication after complication, complication after complication. Now, when you see things, you don't just believe, you analyze them. When you analyze, what are you going to find? Nothing. Is that really nothing? No, it is something very profound. That's how things exist. That's how you exist. That's how things exist. Thing doesn't exist where you perceive. We should not trick ourselves by our own mental creations. We cannot believe our mental creations. No, we cannot believe. Why you call mental creations? One piece of art, you say, oh, it's beautiful. Somebody else says, oh, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Who's right? You are right, or who's right? Each one, you are right in your own perceptions, because this you are corresponding with your mental creations. There's no right or wrong. So now what happens? One object cannot be right or beautiful and ridiculous. One object cannot be both of them. That's like against logic. So what's happening? Oh, it's individual perceptions, into how individual person perceive. So there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. So then Lama Tsongkhapa wrote this text, Prayers to Interdependent, Tenditaba. Lama Tsongkhapa wrote this text not long after he experienced Shunyata directly. Lama Tsongkhapa wrote this text not long after Lama Tsongkhapa experienced Shunyata directly. So that text It says this text, the end of this text, Lama Tsongkhapa state, so that you've been reading about Shunyata, you've been reading Lamrim for a long time, and yeah, first of all, you don't understand very well. So now you feel very fortunate. Before your breath ceases, you have some hope. You gain some hope, towards Shunyata. And you gain some kind of appreciations. The very Lama who wrote intensively about Shunyata, you gain, you develop appreciations, because when you think about that teaching on Shunyata, it's kind of like even it gives you momentary happiness, momentary relief. Way before you experience Shunyata, it gives you a momentary relief. There's hope. It's not hopeless. There's hope. If you put some effort, there's hope. There's a way out. Way out is very wide and clear. Before you don't see. Now you have hope. Why you have hope? You read, you understood. You understood Shunyata. You understood. It's very clear, you understood. Then now you meditate, you feel something. So before you're long time you're reading, you don't have now, before your breath ceases, you have some appreciations, therefore you feel so fortunate. That's what exactly Lama Tsongkhapa said. And at the end of this prayer to the interdependent, I've been like paying homage to the text, and I don't understand the text long period of time. Now, when the Chida Kacho, so we do the Chola Chunse, they are Kawasan. When the Chida Kacho, approaching day by day, minute by minute, moment by moment towards death. But that did not occur yet. But understanding of Shunyata occurred way before my death. I feel very fortunate. That's what Lama Tsongkhapa said. Very true. You feel fortunate. Either you are saying prayers to interdependent daily basis, then you kind of like feel good. Your devotion to Lama Tsongkhapa grow based on that text. So then you feel fortunate. Then you have reason to feel fortunate. Okay, so that's like intellectual level of approaching meditation or Shunyata. Practical level, Gishikele has zero experience. Nothing much to say about practical level. But so then 4-point analysis. Everything that I said is based on the first point analysis. Then second point, that's how the meditation on Shunyata has been done. If you really want to experience what is Shunyata, then you follow the same instructions, because that instruction has been taught, tested, produced great result. The instruction is pure. It has origin. It's been tested. It's been meditated on many times, such as Lama Atisha, Lama Tsongkhapa, all this great master use the same, these 4-point analysis meditations. And Nagarjuna talks about, Lama Tsongkhapa talks about. So this is the kind of instructions. If you meditate on, here, there a little bit, before your breath is, if you has even just tiny, it's not talking about huge, even just tiny aspirations for realization of Shunyata, even the tiny, you must feel fortunate. You must feel fortunate. Okay, so then that will leave the very strong seed. So then someday it will happen. So now learn, then meditate. Is there the questions? Sorry, it took a long time. Okay, now time is over, so maybe next Sunday. Sorry, can't say little, no. That. What I said is even just like fraction of that. So, it's not much. So you can't be content with that, so need to study, okay? Sorry, most of the time it's been taken over by this question, but it's very good questions. So if there's few questions, we will save this to next Sunday, okay? And thank you very much. And all of you have wonderful, all my friends back in Patagonia, you have a wonderful day. And children here, Alexander, thank you very much for translating for them. And hope you all have a wonderful weekend, okay? We'll see you next Sunday.
Let's begin with the dedication verse from Master Shanti Deva, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, or as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Now the long life prayers, first for His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good, all powerful Chenrezig, Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. And the one for Sergei Kinsen Rinpoche Jetsun Losam Dalu. The one who mastered his speech at a very young age. The one with great patience who received the name Awatare. The one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on bliss and void. Lama, ornament of the yellow hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. Along like prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And 7 green tar mantras for Geshe Gelik and Geshe Sangpos. Long, happy, healthy lives. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re Soha.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you. Thank you, Dharma. Thank you, Lamala.
Thank you, Venerable
Thank you.
Lama.